Electricast.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep, it'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability, restrictions and fees apply.
Now that was a helpful commercial.
Welcome to Missing the Point. I'm DK Sizzle, and I am so excited to talk about the Boston Celtics. I have been thinking about the Boston Celtics. I've been going to bed and hoping to dream about the Boston Celtics. I have been waking up in the morning. My first thought is the Boston Celtics. I've been brushing my teeth with green toothpaste, and I'm ready to go for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons, we've had an amazing series unfold right before our eyes so far. I'm here with just the one and only real BK Bob Kelly. It's just the two of us today to talk all things C's. That's all this show is going to be about. So if you came here to listen to the Bruins who are getting their asses handed, and listen to something about the Bruins who are getting their asses handed to them by the Hurricanes right now, 3-0. We're not talking about that because this is all happy and positive land. If you're here to listen to talk about the Patriots, we're not talking about that because neither Bobby and I are Patriots fans. This is Celtics. So I'm going to start it off hitting it right over to you, BK. What's going on, dude? How about that fucking game, huh? Like that was taxing. It was emotionally, mentally, and physically taxing. I feel like all of us as Celtics fans were in Milwaukee that night, living every single possession, dribbling every ball, shooting every shot right alongside them. Every time the ball left somebody's hands to go towards the rim for the C's, I was an emotional wreck. I was in a glass case of emotion. Can you relate?
Yeah, bro. So I said this to you guys. I smoked the first cigarette that I have smoked in 15 months during that fucking game. Okay. Yeah. Like since I quit when we first started the show, I had to smoke one. I bummed one off my neighbor because I was like, bro, I can't deal with the stress of this game. Right. It was unbelievable, man.
I was also smoking, but I have no accolades that got ruined. My streak got ruined by my own lack of fucking discipline and willpower. I can't blame the Celtics. So you got that up on me.
Yeah, bro. It was honestly the most rewarding but stressful game that I think I've watched for this group of Celtics. You know what I mean? Like, we've been through a lot with this core, like the Tatum, the Brown, the Smart.
Shockingly for like a while now.
Yeah, man. And for them to show us the old Celtics again at the beginning of that first quarter.
They sure did.
And then rebound to what we saw in the fourth quarter, which we'll get to, it was so rewarding to see just the dog come out in all of them. It wasn't just Tatum, wasn't just Brown, wasn't just big fucking playoff Al. It was
talk about that.
It was the whole team, man, top to bottom. They just looked like dogs in that fourth quarter. They looked like a team that knew that they were playing like shit and were like, listen, guys, this is fucking it. This is it. And they felt it, and they executed perfectly. Emmy's a great coach. It was just like down the line, man. I'm so happy.
I'll tell you, just as a quick plug, this week on the 617, we're releasing a show called Championship DNA. It used to be called something else when it was over here on MTP, but we're releasing a show where we basically recap the 2008. The theme of the show is we recap old New England championships, but this week, for fitting reasons, we're doing the 2008 Celtics. Go check that out on the 617. The link will be in the show notes. I think it coincided perfectly with this game to be released. And I know this is right up your alley, Bobby, but I'm here with you now. Like, I know that you're always the one trying to get us hyped, but I'm always trying to be a little realistic. Ray's always trying to be a little realistic. I'm fucking here. Like, I'm full on, like my eyes are rolling into the back of my head because it's reminding me not necessarily of specific moments that happened in 2008, because I feel like the stuff that happened in 2008 is singular. It happened with a singular group of guys that played basketball a certain way. And like, We talked about this ad nauseum over on the 617. Please do go check that out. It's a great show when you're done here. But it's the feeling of something special happening. It's whatever happens, the reason I'm okay saying this now, because I'm freaked out about jinxes like all the fucking time. The reason I'm okay saying this now is that I'm at the point where no matter what happens, I'm proud of them. Yep. No matter what happens from this point forward, whether we get our fucking face punched in Boston again and we go down, or we just win our remaining games and move on, I'm proud of them for the mentality that they've showed. And if we went out tomorrow, if it was like, that's it, you don't get to play any more games, it's over, it's done, Boston goes home, I would be, for the first time in a long time, optimistic going into the offseason and saying to myself, well, with a couple of additions or a couple of tweaks, I think we have a core that can win a championship. Now, we don't even have to address that right now because it's 2-2 with the defending champions after a sweep of what was a lot of people's favorites, right? It's another.
They were the Vegas's second favorite to go to the finals at the beginning of the postseason.
My experience of watching teams win championships has been that the ones that do it always, and I don't mean that hyperbolically, I mean that literally, always overcome adversity. And this is a postseason where we're watching them consistently overcome adversity. This Bucks series has been borderline hard to watch at times with how difficult it clearly is to be a player on either team inside this series, because the Bucks are the number one defense in the playoffs right now. Mm-hmm. Like they came to play the same way that we play. They're doing to us what we just did to the Nets, and we're standing up. That's the difference. We're standing up. We're not folding. And I think, just to focus specifically on the last game, there was a moment where it was like, does this, like you said, it was the old Celtics up until I think the end of the third quarter, right? And then they stood up and they were accounted for. Everybody stood up and said, I'm going to do it. It's Jaylen Brown taking shots that are making me go like, no, not that shot. But it's like, but he hits it this time. You know what I mean? It's like, no, fuck that. They're not fucking around. We need an answer right now. So he goes and gets it. It's Jayson Tatum having a fucking stinker and then lighting it up in the fourth quarter, and still taking those shots. Not dumb hero ball, nobody's moving, everyone's static, watching him play type shots. Good looks that he should be taking and he should be making, and he's not shying away
man shots.
On the fourth.
Big man shots.
And grown adult basketball shots.
Right. Yeah.
So I think, that's the theme here. And I think that's the thing that's got me so fucking fired up.
How happy how happy I am to hear you say this, because listen, the special factor is so clear. It reminds me so much of like I know you're a baseball guy, but like the 2018 or was it 2018 Red Sox. You could see it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I watched that postseason and I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's something special about the way these guys go about their business.
I remember a very specific line my dad said to me when Liverpool got the coach that they got. He was like that went on to win a ton of shit for us, and we're like, still on course this season to win a bunch of stuff. And my dad's a very practical guy. He's a very, very straightforward guy. He was like, I don't know, there's a sense of destiny about Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool and them being together. There is something like, I mean, I'm not religious. I don't believe in God, but if I did, I would do it through sports. You know what I mean? Like,
agreed.
That's the thing where I feel the universe tingling around me. And, maybe it's just humans finding patterns and shit. I don't know. But what I do know is that when you look back on this series, win or lose, what they did in that game 4 was special. It absolutely was special, because it's not a game where you're supposed to win by the way things were going. So to get down on a practical level after we just did The Man That Fell to Earth all the way from outer space.
I want to check that show out.
Yeah. Well, there's a really good movie. David Bowie did a movie in the 1970s. Man Who Fell to Earth. It's a good one. It's a little avant-garde, so you might want to toke a little bit before you put it on, but it's worth the watch. But I digress. So let's talk about key players in this series. You guys did a great show last week about the series when we were down 2-1, and you were talking a lot about Giannis Antetokounmpo specifically, because obviously he's the best player in the series on paper, right? He a lot like KD was, so there are some parallels. Unfortunately, Giannis is the kind of guy that if you limit his scoring, he can still drop dimes on you. If you limit him in his movement, he'll still get 15 rebounds. my friend describes him as the guy they won't let you make in 2K. Like you'll make a guy 7 feet tall, and you'll want him to be also really fast and be able to really dribble really well.
Cap it at like 62.
Yeah, 2K will be like, no. Yeah, nobody's like that. You'll be like, what about Giannis? And they'll be like, well, you can't be Giannis. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it's a game of limiting him, and he definitely went off and destroyed us in game 3. And I think, we all sort of accepted that as inevitable. What do you think we did right against him, specifically in the context of switching Al onto him for the majority of the game? I know Graham Williams was in foul trouble, but Al getting ran by him downhill, but still being able to sort of body him, make him tired. Did you see him at the end of the game? His hands were on his knees. He was
gassed,
full on gassed. And it was because anytime he wanted to come near the rim, Al beat him up, right? So what do you think we did right? What do you think we can improve going forward? Do you think that strategy is going to work again? What kind of Giannis are we going to see in game 5 in Boston?
Yeah, what's so scary about Giannis is, like I said, we touched on this last week, is that he can affect the game. And like you just said, in so many different ways. It's like, even when his shot's not falling, you still, like we've been talking, you still feel like he just dominated you for 4 quarters. And then you look at the box score and you're like, holy shit, he shot 32% from the field. Like, it didn't feel like that.
Every play. When
every possession, he makes something happen. The big thing to me was, in that second half, we limited a lot of second chance points that he was getting, because he and the Bucks were dominating us on the offensive boards in the first half.
The absence of Rob Williams, I think, played a factor there.
Huge. Yeah, huge, because like, you can do everything to get a body on Giannis, but when he's just the biggest man on the court, there's not much you can fucking do.
I mean, Daniel Clay trying to out-rebound Giannis is like watching a child play with his dad in the driveway. It's not good. It's not a good look. And then we'll go on to talk about the negatives of some of the players. And I've come around to a couple of your opinions, but I hope you've come around to at least one of mine when we talk about the role players later, but continue.
But so with Giannis, man, it's so... I honestly feel like he's the reason we won that game, because I don't know. So Bill Simmons did a whole thing about Giannis's likability coming into this series, and how, like, you can't talk to someone and then be like, fuck Giannis, I hate Giannis. You'd be like, what? How the fuck do you hate? I think I hate Giannis now, man. And I think the Celtics do too.
That's the trick in Boston. The Celtics can and will make their fan base, make the most likable person in basketball hateable. We did it with Magic Johnson. We can certainly fucking do it with Giannis Antetokounmpo. No problem.
Bro, and him, I don't know if he thinks we are those soft Celtics still. I kind of think he did. When he yammed on Horford and gave him that look, bro, you saw a fire get lit under this team. I think I saw a stat earlier that, like, since Giannis got that technical, we outscored them 63-48 for the rest of the game.
So that was the moment. I really do believe that was the moment, because
100%.
I think that I've seen that moment play out against us a number of times.
100%.
Like, specifically, you remember the LeBron right in Tatum's face dagger 3 from the corner in that, I forget what year it was. I'm not good with years, but in one of the years we went to Game 7 with the Cavs.
Yeah, I was at that game. It was the one where Terry Rozier was like 1 of 96 from.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And in that same playoffs, Harden also missed like 37 fucking shots to against the Warriors. So it was just like a weird weekend or whatever. But I want to say it was 2017.
Anyway, it was the year we had Kyrie. Kyrie was out, and Tatum and Brown brought us to the ECF.
I don't think we had Kyrie yet. Did we?
Keep going.
Point being, so these moments, right, where you know that they're going against you, I feel like there's an alternate universe in the multiverse somewhere where Giannis yams that on Al. He looks at Al the way he does, and collectively the team and the fan base go like, fuck. But for some reason, and I'm not sure what that reason is, maybe it's because it was Al Horford and his specific reaction, but for some reason, when that happened, I feel like they just got pissed off.
Yeah,
they just got pissed off, and it lit some sort of fire underneath them. I mean, we've talked at length about the mentality switch, but yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, that was in retrospect, especially, that was the moment that sort of switched everything and sort of showed us what the mentality of this team actually is.
I think Imi and Al, when they went back to the bench, because I think the Celtics called timeout right after that, they went back to the bench, and I feel like, are you going to let this dude do that to us? You're going to let him stare us down and think that he's in our head. No. He's not in our head. We're in his fucking head. Right. And you just saw something turn, man. And I love all the memes that came out because of this. I saw one that was like Al Horford's face on that is the definition of I bet.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Bro.
He was. I loved his wife being like, I've seen that face before. This is when the Bucks fucked up. I've seen that face.
It's a sister.
Oh, was it a sister?
Yeah, it was, bro. There was so many other comments. They were like, everyone, that's just kind of awkward. That's it.
I just saw the meme. I don't fucking know. But anyway, point being, I think what was so smart coaching wise in that moment is you know my disdain and resentment for all things Van Gundy in the NBA. Anytime any one of those two chuckle fucks gets on the microphone and I have to listen to them attempt to talk about basketball, like they didn't fail their way into head coaching jobs and then fail their way right fucking back out of them in their careers. Anytime I have to listen to it, it drives me fucking bananas. But what I really like, I hate when I agree with them. I hate when they're saying stuff and I'm agreeing with them because that almost certainly means the Celtics aren't doing great. But what I really enjoyed is that it was Stan this week. I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Dumb fuck is dumb fuck. But Stan Van Gundy kept being like, why is Al Horford still on Giannis? You got to put Grant Williams on Giannis. Like he wouldn't shut up about it, right? And to a point, I agreed with him up until that exact moment you're talking about. That was the moment where I was like, you can't take Al off him now. You have to live in, like, you got to let him go out there and play ball. You got to let him go out there and play ball. And Grant Williams also has like 4 or 5 fouls at this point. So it's like, you can't give up on him. You got to let him fucking go. The fact that he shimmy shook later on in the game, gave him a little fucking razzle dazzle, went right on him, right? No, he didn't even like go left or like do anything fucking weird. He went right, got up, slammed the fucking ball in his face, and then gave the old Texas 1-2 on the fucking way down, a
little incidental elbow.
A little gray poupon, little fucking mustard on the end of it, sent him to the floor. And I don't think it was his face or his fatigue that kept him on the floor for that long. I think it was the fact that Al Horford just blew by him and yammed on him. And I get that it's a bit of a Brady Urlacher situation in that I don't think Giannis is expecting him to full on take him to the hole. I just don't think he's expecting him to do that, and he does it, and it's awesome.
Bro, so you could see it on Giannis. You could see it on Giannis's face when Al's by him. Giannis is like, "Oh, what? Shit, what just happened?"
Because nobody expected it. Nobody expected him to just go at him. But I think that's Al Horford for you. Like that's been Al Horford, Hawks Al Horford, Celtics Al Horford. Like he's always been a baller like that. He's always been a leader, and I think for him to. Yeah, of course Giannis is going to take him. If Giannis has him in the perimeter, he's going to hit him with a couple dribbles. He's going to fucking run right past him. That's just like the way it is. I get it. And I get how frustrating it was to watch as it was first happening. But the fact that he just left him on him because they realized the most damage he's going to do to us is in the paint. So let's just leave Al on him. If he takes him downtown a couple times, we'll try and slide and help. But in the paint, Al's going to fuck him up. Like he's going to lose a couple battles, but he's going to fuck him up. He's going to chop him. He's going to bump him. He's going to play some defense on him, And you could see how tired Giannis was by the end of it. I think that it's the most crazy stat line for a guy who, like you said, is sort of responsible for them losing that game, like pulling up from 3 and Al just giving them to it was the Al versus Giannis show. Al just taking 3 steps back and be like, you go ahead, shoot that. It was just them playing each other. You can see that and if you're Giannis, take my Celtics hat off for a second. Say I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan. This is the Milwaukee Bucks podcast. Missing the point. Fucking fear the fucking deer or whatever, right? Whatever stupid shit they say in that godforsaken hellhole of a state. It's a Packers thing, honestly.
I was just going to say, we're going in, huh?
It's because of the Packers. The Bucks are just collateral damage. But if we're on that, I'm saying, Giannis, why are you letting Al Horford sucker you into a battle? You know what I mean? Why are you doing that? You're a way better player than him. You're a top 5 NBA player. You don't need to be going one-on-one with Al Horford and letting Al Horford see into your soul like that, man. And Al's just yeah, come on down here. Let's have us a dog fight, And then that's how Al gets 30 points while guarding the best player on the court, And I think that's just fucking fantastic. But before we get on to Al, we've done a little Giannis. Let's talk about Jrue Holiday for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made the point to you before the game. If we can keep Jrue Holiday at 6 points, we win the game, right? They are able to go to the well on his scoring so easily. And I'm honestly surprised I mean, he missed a lot of open looks. I think that helped us a lot. I think that helped us a ton, because if his 3-point shooting was a little bit more dialed in, I think we're in trouble in that game, because he was left open a few times. His ability to drive and pull up in the mid-range is pretty fucking lethal still. And my point to you before the game is, if we can limit Jrue Holiday, we win the game. Because what they're able to do is, you remember when this, and I know you already know this, this is for the audience. You remember the way the Celtics were able to stifle plan A for the Nets, and they didn't have a plan B? Because plan A, and this is when we kind of realized Ray was right about Steve Nash. Because it's like, well, where's your plan B? Plan A was make our scorers score, right? It's pretty straightforward, and I don't hate it. But it's, once we stifled that, now what are you going to do? And they couldn't do anything. What the Bucks have done a really good job on against us is, we'll stifle Giannis. And I heard you make this point last week. We'll stifle Giannis. We'll make him take dumb pull-up mid-range shots, or give him the shot from 3 and let him miss, or whatever we'll do. We'll stifle him in those ways, right? But what they can do then is they go like, well, Jrue Holiday's getting penetration on them every single time. He's too fast. They don't have an answer. That surprises me. That should be the guy we should be able to guard the best. Why isn't Marcus Smart able to just live with him? It feels like they switch really well to get him space. And I just think we need to figure that out if we're going to win this series, because he's honestly, it's looking a little easy for him. And I think people are maybe sleeping on how good of a scorer he actually is. And he gets the most important points. Like, he scores a bucket right when they need him to. Like, he's become that guy on the team. So do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, where are you at on the Jrue Holiday conundrum? And do you have an answer?
So I think what it is with Jrue is he definitely felt slighted almost with DeMarcus Smart winning the Defensive Player of the Year, because before this year, you know what I mean, Jrue was seen as maybe the best defensive guard in the NBA. Marcus wins that award, and all of a sudden, it's all about Marcus. You know what I mean? No one's talking about Jrue and his great defense. No one's talking about these things. So he definitely felt slighted. I just don't know if he's ready to be the 2 guy on a championship-winning team.
Which you wouldn't have said after Game 3, though.
Right. No, agreed.
I wouldn't have said that after Game 3, because after Game 3, him and Giannis sat down and they both had buckets, and they both had numbers in every column. So I wonder what changed.
I feel like it's as Giannis goes, Jrue goes. You know what I mean? I feel like he feeds off him a lot. And the fact that Giannis was getting challenged and not shut down, not by any means. He had 34 and 18. So not by any means.
For the entire night.
But Jrue, man, was brutal in Game 4. He was I'm going to go over. So he was 5 for 22 from the field.
Yeah. Volume
one of 6 from 3, and he was a minus 23.
How many points
when he was out
with?
there? 16.
16. All right.
So, which is, remember you said 6, and I was like, hey,
you were like 12. 12 would be great. You were like 12 would be great.
Is a dream.
But we kept him out of the 20s.
We did,
right?
And that's huge, man.
And his volume was still up, though, is the thing. So because his volume was up, he takes good looks. He takes smart shots. He takes good Jrue Holiday shots. I think we got a little lucky with him last game. I just think his shot wasn't falling. If he gets 26 points instead of 16 points, the whole complexion of the game is different, because where are those points coming in? And I know you can do that with everybody. I know you can say like, well, if Tatum was shooting better for the first 3 quarters, then the game would have been a different look too. I'm talking about practically, what the fuck do we do to prevent him from getting 20 decent looks? Because I feel like every time he shot and missed, they weren't terrible looks. He wasn't shooting dumb, contested, 2 guys on him type shots like Giannis was taking from time to time. He was missing open looks, and that's just luck. That's not going to happen again. So we got to figure that out. You know what I mean? Somehow, somewhere or another. I just feel like he's their second guy. If we could take him away from them, Giannis is going to do Giannis shit. But if we can take Jrue Holiday out of the equation, if we can unlock that, maybe we play a zone. Maybe we switch Jaylen Brown onto him more. I thought Jaylen Brown did pretty good on him. I know he's a little bit long to guard a guy that fast. Like, I don't know. Jrue Holiday's the guy that's like, the way that in a series like this, there's a guy that's like living in your head. I'm like, I love Jrue Holiday's the thing. He's exactly the kind of player I like. He's exactly the kind of player. Yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't even call him as much of a crafty guard as more of like a, like, I just love a stop and go guy, like an Allen Iverson. Like, he can cross you up. He can take you inside, take you back outside. He can make his own shot, but he's like not, and maybe a little bit undersized. I love Jrue Holiday. So he's living in my fucking head rent free in the series. Like, I'm just scared of him every time he gets the ball. And I think for good reason. But what would you do? What would be your solution?
I would make him keep shooting, honestly, man. I just don't think he's used to this volume. He usually has Middleton taking most of these shots. You know what I mean? So
I feel like he stepped up in game 3, so I got nervous.
Yeah, no, agreed. He did step up in game 3, but I just don't think he can keep it going all series, man. I think the way that they're playing him, honestly, is the way that they need to keep playing him, because statistically and historically, he's not a great shooter. So the fact that you forced him into thinking that he could take 6 threes in a game and he missed,
the 3-point shooting, sure. The 3-point shooting,
you know what I mean?
He's always had that pull up, though. He's always had that pull up in and around in and around the rim. He can finish it in and around the rim, and he's getting penetration.
The thing with I feel like the reason Marcus isn't having as much success guarding him is because he's so worried about everything else that's going around.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
he's
so
almost
much happening. Right.
Marcus is like scheming on the court. You can see it. He's also like quarterbacking the defense, which I think is like a huge thing that he does. I agree with you wholeheartedly, because I also think they have him running around kind of bullying. Like, he had to switch to Connaughton at one point because Connaughton started to fucking light up, and it was like,
this up.
Does he? You said that in the thing. I'm like, what's it? This fucking guy? Like, who?
I feel like he killed us in that one series where we won the first game, and then the Bucks won 4 straight when we had Kyrie. He murdered us in that series too. So I've always have this, I feel like if you're memory of Connaughton.
Most casual NBA fans don't know your name, you will have a great playoff game against the Celtics.
Agreed. Agreed, bro.
I feel like if you're, who was the dude who was like a lights out shooter that played with LeBron, the blonde kid? He had brothers. He's like their shooting coach now. What the fuck's his name?
Mo Williams?
No. White guy.
Oh, Dellavedova.
No. The fucking, he was like, he was never good. He was a decent shooter. His name's like Luke something. All right, whatever. I'll look it up.
Ridenour?
What?
Luke Ridenour?
No, I forget he's like a shooting coach now. He's like legitimately a good shooting coach. And he was like a legitimately good shooter, but he would always light us up. That is like Tyler Hero in the fucking, in the Heat series, right? Where it was like, nobody knew Tyler Hero was. It's like, oh, it's not skin pigment, pretty white. You can shoot against the Celtics. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes this thing. What, are you looking it up?
Yep.
I gotta find out who the fuck this guy is now. It's gonna fucking bother me. I bet people are screaming into their radios right now.
Yeah, I always do that when people would talk about that shit. Like when they're like, I don't remember that guy.
Where you forget who it is.
Who the fuck is it?
Player, LeBron, teammate. You'll know it right when I tell you who it is.
Mark Price. No.
I'll have to just tell.
He's too old. That's too old.
I gotta find out this guy.
Yeah, it's fine. This is what normally happens on podcasts, I feel like.
Yeah, right.
And then you just edit that shit out, and then we sound super smart because we came up with it super fucking fast.
Right, exactly. You're gonna be like, oh, of course, when I tell you who it is. Best. I'm just gonna look at best Cavs shooters.
I just went to the same.
Kyle Korver.
Fucking Korver.
Oh,
yeah, I fucking loved Kyle Korver, bro.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm talking about. He always lit us up. He was fucking lit us up. He was always wide open in the corner to just fucking absolutely murder us. Right.
He's the Connaughton. I agree.
Yeah, he's the Connaughton. I think he's probably much better shooter than Connaughton, but Connaughton looks like fucking, he's lights out there. So it's infuriating.
Korver's 2 all time.
All time, yeah, exactly. And he's like a shooting coach now. He's like a form coach now. It's like what he does. So that all makes sense to me. And like, yeah, he had like these are getting back to the original point. These are the guys like that motherfucker, Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver ruined Celtics games and podcasts now at this point. So getting back to the original point, I think we need to do something about these Bucks role players.
Yeah,
before we need to do something about Giannis. I think like, to your point earlier, it's like Giannis kind of beat Giannis in the last game. Like how Mike and Ray always like to tell me Brett screwed Brett. I think Giannis screwed Giannis. I think he got dragged down, like we were talking about, into Horford's world. And he sort of helped lose the game for his team. Now, when they come back to Boston, we can't let them do what they did to us in game 1, which is punch us in the mouth early, get a little shocked, and then like not recover, which I think, it sort of is what it is. Like, we won the series before in 4 games, and like it took us a little time to get up to speed.
I think that version's over, man. I don't think that.
I would hope so.
I don't see this team not responding, and not. That's why, that's why I always say you got to weather the storm. Yeah. If this team is close, man, they will make a comeback. It's just a matter of time.
And they're starting to develop that thing that like the really good Warriors teams could do, like. It's not they're down 10, like how you would expect this specific iteration of the Celtics to come back. Oh, they're down 12. They got to come back. Okay, now it's 8. Okay, now it's 6. Oh, it's 8 again. Oh, well, they did that thing in the last series where it was like, wait, we're only down 4?
Bro,
like how the fuck did that happen? It was like whap whap whap, and it was like, oh shit, okay, this will work.
It's what happened early in this game, dude. You saw it. Like, remember, they took that first lead, and it was like, bro, that's such a big lead for them to take because we looked like dog shit in that first quarter. Right. And then they came back, took that fucking lead. I want to make one point about the role players before I go on to ours.
Take the floor.
Bro, I think it's so big that Chris Middleton is not in this series. Can you imagine? So right now, Jaylen Brown has Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton.
That's another
defending
fucker
him.
that's been pissing me off is Grayson Allen.
I hate Grayson. Grayson Allen's my least favorite.
You're supposed to hate him. They made him in a lab to be hated by NBA fans across
100%,
the globe.
100%. I mean, he went to Duke. You know what I mean? You just start right out.
And he was like a prick on Duke, too.
Yeah.
He was like a guy you'd be nervous if your sister was hanging out with him. You know,
100%,
you're like
100%. I would not let my sister go near fucking Grayson Allen.
Good basketball player, but serious date rape vibes.
Well, yeah. So I wasn't going to go there, but
he's like, we said it subtly already. I don't know why you had to say it. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to say it about Grayson Allen. Fuck it.
So, I mean, we could end the podcast there. Grayson Allen, date rape vibes. That's the title of the episode. So yeah,
it's gonna be the title of a fucking New York Magazine article in a few years because he does have fucking date rape vibes.
Front cover of Rolling Stone. So yeah, if Middleton is covering JB full time and it's not Allen and Connaughton switching off, this series is
you don't have if he has the game 3, the game 4 that he has.
Yeah, this series is so different to me, man. I think we'd be in trouble if that was the case because listen, Middleton is bred to defend guys like Brown and Tatum.
Yeah,
and the one answer the Bucks don't have is someone to defend Brown and Tatum on every possession. I think it's so huge that they're not in there. And going forward next year, we need to get someone who fills that backup role. I don't even know.
That's why I liked having Marcus Morris back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know,
Marcus Morris, perfect.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like I didn't want him to be as important of a figure on the team as he was. But if he thought he was, as he thought he was, or as he like needed to be sometimes, because like we sucked. But if you took out like if you had like an ideal world of a perfect world where you have Rob Williams with full minutes playing at his best, and you could just like pluck Daniel Tice, and this is a good transition into actually our role players. If you could just pluck Daniel Tice's minutes right out of there, and you make it a Marcus Morris or a Markieff Morris or a I'm not really sure what Steven Jackson's deal is these days. If he can
Bobby
still jump
from the Bucks, same type guy,
like a guy that can just go with, exactly. Like a Carlos Boozer back in the day. You know what I mean? Like that. Those like someone to just come in. Maybe it's Grant. Maybe it's Grant. If we got somebody that could maybe control Giannis a little bit better and not like our 6'6" fucking undersized power forward. I feel like Grant Williams could play that role. I think he could definitely do some shit to Chris Middleton. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure those matchups will happen down the road if these are the teams we're sticking with. But to move on to the Celtics role players, I'm going to start with Daniel Tice because I think I've come around. I think it's a matchup situation. Like I think that there was things he could do on the floor against the Brooklyn Nets that were effective, and I think that they didn't really need to worry about him so much. And the guys that he was guarding, it's like we had Tatum kind of doing a good job one-on-one on KD, and there wasn't like a huge giant big man to like destroy us down low to exploit Daniel Tice. But something happened in that last game where I was like, you know what? It's not even that you would talk shit about him and I would be like, he's undersized and he's like trying his fucking best and he's working hard and he's in there getting like, he's trying to take charges and he's doing all the kind of the dirty work, and I like players like that. But in this last game, I don't know if it was instructions from the coaching staff or whatever, but he did so much stupid shit.
Right. Like he's the only guy on the Celtics that looks like he doesn't belong when he's on the floor. That you know what I mean? Keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off at all. It's the dumb fuckery that got me in the last game. Yeah. He took 2 back-to-back 3-point shots when we were down.
Bro, that's it. And it's things like that were killing me. He didn't do that in the Brooklyn series, but it would be like that on the defensive end where he would get caught out of position.
He got back-cut a ton.
Right.
Which is also
we'd be playing great defense, and then all of a sudden the Nets are back in the fucking game. KD got rolling a little bit. Why? Because Daniel Tice couldn't fucking get out onto the 3-point line fast enough, or he didn't see that back cut coming, or it's just... I feel like Emmy doesn't. Honestly, I feel like Emmy doesn't like him that much because
he didn't see the floor for the first, two games. There was a moment
he's
where
not physical enough, man. He's not so many things. Listen, Daniel Tice is who he is. All right, I'm happy we got him. We got rid of Schroeder for him, so great, amazing.
In a different series, he might be able to play a role, but I agree with you essentially. I also think I was so fucking angry. I mean, I was alone in my house watching the game. Thank God there was no other humans around. But there was a moment where off a fucking rebound from a free throw, and he had position on Brook Lopez. And I get that Brook Lopez is a monster, and I get that he's huge, but he had fucking position on him. You know what I mean? If you have your fucking ass backed into the dude and the ball's falling towards you, he can't Randy Moss you in that situation and just put it back up because you got to leave your feet. And I watched Daniel Tice not leave his feet. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I would have benched him for life if that was me. I mean, this is why I'm not a head coach. I'm a very reactionary individual, but I would have benched him for life at that point. It's just unacceptable, especially if you're what's essentially considered a big man. You can't be letting dudes fucking Randy Moss you like that over the top. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you on Tice. I don't like seeing him on the floor, especially not in this specific series because the Bucks are too long. They're too strong. They're too athletic. They got too many guys that they can just happily bring onto the floor to just bully Daniel Tice. He's like chum in the fucking water for them when they see him in there. If we had a Serge Ibaka type or a, whole different stuff. Someone along those lines to just come in and kind of bump with those guys inside for a little bit, take a little of their energy away. Sure. But that's not what Tice is doing. So I'd almost rather the big, tall Australian fuck that we got rid of. What was his name? Baines.
Yeah,
I don't think
100%.
I don't think he was as good of a basketball player as Daniel Tice, but I think that he would get in there and fucking get.
He had more dog. He had more dog in him.
Get grimy in there. Fuck it. Yeah, I need something along those lines because Daniel Tice ain't it.
I know who you're going to next.
Moving right along to the Derek White conversation because I get that you were hard on him. I get why. It was even tough for me to argue. I remember I was listening to last week's show with you and Mike and Ray, and you were giving Derek White the business. And I was like, well, I don't know. And I looked it up. I looked up his stats, and the stats were they were pretty tough. They were pretty tough in game 3. I think he was 0 for 6 from 3, and he was 0 for however many from the field, and he did nothing. It was a terrible stat line. And I get that he's kind of in there to do defensive shit. And I think he had a fucking unbelievable defensive game 4, which we'll get to. But offensively, I think because of the nature of this team and because of how this team sort of operates on a mentality level, which we've touched on a few times in a few different ways in this podcast so far, because of that, I think Derek White didn't get to be a little bitch. And he didn't get to freak out. And they were still take your open shots, dude. You can hit your open shots. And he missed his first one. And then they sort of started falling. And they started falling at key moments. He was in the right place at the right time a lot. He made the smart pass a lot. He penetrated at the right time. And he's also secretly kind of our only guy other than Tatum and Brown that can play a little in and out ball. Marcus, though, I think Marcus's game is that once he gets in, he's trying to make the killer pass, which I don't hate. And if he's in the paint, he's either wants to restart or he wants to make the killer pass. I like the idea of having somebody on the floor like Derek White that can dribble the ball in, fuck their rotations a little bit, and then take it right back out to the perimeter and see where we're at again. I like that game in a point guard personally. So where are you at on him? I mean, you were out on him completely. The experiment was done. We had scrapped it. The Manhattan Project was over. But have you come around at all? I'm not trying to make you eat your words because I understand why you were mad. But have you come around at all on Derek White? You see what he's bringing to the team, or is it still I don't know, it's frustrating?
So, I never, and I said this when we were dogging him last time, is listen, I understand how vital that trade was to our season.
And that was a good point. I'll give you credit for that because that point was we needed to consolidate the roster. And I thought about that in this last game. When I thought about you saying that we needed to consolidate the roster and we made the right out moves in order to to bring these guys in. So I agree with you wholeheartedly on that point, just for the record. But
thank you. And, when it comes down to how, yes, to sum it up, yes, I am back in on the Derek White train, man. I saw a stat, I sent it to you guys, where he held Bucks shooters in that game to 0 of 15 shooting. Bro, that is so impressive. And he has the highest plus minus out of any Celtic for the past, I think it's the past 3 games. And it's a plus, I think it's a plus 41 or some stupid shit like that. When he's on the court now It just seems like we're a better executing team. And I don't know what it is. The one thing that was bothering me, which I feel like he kind of figured out, was the trap. He was getting trapped so much in those first 2 games in the backcourt, man, where I don't know if he wasn't expecting it, what it was, but I felt like, they would trap him and he'd be like, oh shit, what do I do now?
Do you hate his dribbling? I don't love how he dribbles the ball. I don't love how he possesses the ball, and I think that
I don't like the way anyone on the Celtics dribbles the ball.
I feel like Jaylen Brown's dribbling. I'm like, Jaylen, give it to.
The Celtics don't have anyone that I feel comfortable dribbling the ball from more than 10 feet. That's where I mean, you know what I mean? Like if Pritchard. That's it. Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Peyton Pritchard, I've actually come around on him to the point where I'm like, for literally that reason. Because when he gets the ball, when they try to press us full court in any way, I feel like we get a little rattled sometimes. And when they try to press us on a rebound when we haven't fully secured the ball, when it goes to Pritchard, I'm like, okay, we're good. Because he's like small and he can just fucking dribble the ball up, and that's all I need. That's all I need right now. Nobody's like stealing the ball from him. No one's even gonna try because he's like that kind of player. Maybe Pritchard might be the best handles on the team.
Which is sad. I'm back in on Derek White. I am, man. I'm still not all the way in offensively. I still think it scares the shit out of me every single time he pulls up for a jumper.
I don't mind him on a wide open 3. I really don't. So I like his shooting form. I think they'll start to drop.
I feel like he's out of his head now. I think that was a big problem too. You know what I mean? Like those first couple games, man, you could see it that not only did every Celtic fan hate when he was shooting the ball, but he hated when he was shooting the ball. And that's a problem, man. Derek White he's an emotional guy. He's like an emotional leader. He's that type of guy. So if he's in his own head and he's doubting himself and he's not thinking this ball is going in, then we're in trouble. But the defensive prowess that he brings now, man, I gotta say, like that turned me around completely. I saw that stat, 0 of 15 shooting. And I'm all about like the advanced metrics, all that shit. His advanced metrics are off the fucking charts in the past 2 games, man. He is by far the most efficient defender on the Celtics for the past 2 games, and it's not even close. So I'm back in on Derek White.
With the asterisk that what we did talk about, Marcus has to do a lot right now.
Right. No. Okay. Yeah. So I feel so to go to Marcus real quick too. I feel like what it is Derek White is taking the role that Marcus had a lot during the regular season, because we had Rob doing the free safety roamer role where he's just everywhere fucking everyone up. And
that's do that against the Bucks though.
Right. And I can't, but I feel like the person who can is Marcus. You know what I mean? Marcus can switch onto anyone besides Giannis.
And still will though. If you ask him to, I was like, I'll fucking D him up.
Yeah, I'll swat that shit out of the air. No problem.
He believes in himself.
But I feel like that's what we're seeing. White is turning into the guy where you're like, hey, you go on him, you follow that hit, you follow him, and you do not let him score easily. And he's executing it perfectly, man. I don't know. I was so out. I'm so shocked.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch a guy fucking, take wide open looks and not make them.
When you know what he can do too. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what was really befuddling to me. I haven't used that word in a while. Befuddling to me is he was shooting, I think he shot like 40% since we acquired him in the off and at the trade deadline. And then in the playoffs, he was like 19% from the field. It was like, bro, what is the moment too big for this dude?
You can't get worse. Happening? You can't get worse when the moment gets bigger, But I think, I think the mentality helped. I think he was still in his head. He took an early open 3 that didn't go in. I was like, I would expect you to make that. I'm like, you guys shake those fucking cobwebs off, dude. And I think he kind of did. I liked also our fun little joke about how he reminds you of the guy you make in 2K when you first get into the league and you're like, just your stats are so bad you can't get by anybody, so you're just trying to play defense and you're trying to pass the ball.
Trying to get that teammate grade up. Get that teammate
grade up, and you're like, I got to take a wide open look. I believe in myself to hit the like perfect timing on my shot meter, but it's a really small window because the shooting is, the shooting's low. So he does remind me of that sometimes, but I do think he had a great game for it. And I hope he can long may it continue.
So in the other Discord, I saw someone put out there, and I actually kind of agreed with it, that Derek White reminds them of a point guard, Rob Williams, where he plays great defense. He does all the intangibles, but you don't really trust him offensively. He can do some things, but he's very limited offensively. If he's not in the right situation, he's not going to go off in that game. He
Maybe
can
right now.
but
Maybe
he
right
won't.
now. I feel like there's a world where Derek White becomes a pretty efficient scorer, to be honest with you.
He was in the past. I mean,
Yeah.
he was in the bubble with San Antonio that year.
That doesn't count. Everybody was fucking weird that year. The Lakers won a championship that year, for God's sake, and they're all at home right now. That's how much of a fucking aberration that was. Just need to get that little
because the old guy's got like 5 months off, so that'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. We'll see. Fuck those guys. So moving right along to let's see. Let's go on to the stars. Because I feel like Jaylen Brown deserves a lot of credit, I think, for obviously the Jaylen Brown game, which will be commonly referred to as the Jaylen Brown game in this series, where he just fucking started the game off just shooting lights out and just being all over him. It was a big response from him. I feel like it's the guy that has a shitty game, and it's not about what happened in that game. It's about what you did after and how you responded. And I think he responded really well. How do you think he played in game 4? What'd you like about him? What'd you not like about him? I personally felt like he hit shots. He hit answers a lot, which I really enjoyed. And I think he stepped up when he needed to. And I think he was shooting with confidence, even in situations where his confidence maybe should have been lower because he hadn't been playing that great. And I liked him defensively, but where are you at with JB right now?
Yeah. So that game, I think it was game 2. Was it game 2? Yeah, game 2. Have we talked since then? Did we talk?
We have not. We have
no,
not.
bro.
No, we got our asses whooped. Well, we didn't get our asses whooped, but it was the 0.10 of a second game in game 3. So,
yeah. Game 2, man, he was so unbelievable in that game. And I haven't seen JB play like that. And I mean, I don't know. Since his injury last year, like JB was awesome this year, but he wasn't putting up 30 points at all this year, really. This past game, though, right? So I feel like what it was, the reason we didn't see JB go off is because he knew that this needed to be Tatum's game because of how shitty Tatum was in game 3.
Yeah.
So
but you can't really think like that, though.
I know, but I feel like he knew he needed to be a role player on side of Tatum. And then as soon as Al also took over, he definitely took a side seat to that. But he was doing the intangibles, like you just said, man. He was playing great defense. What did he score? 18 points in game 4?
Yeah.
So he had a good game. It wasn't anything that jumped off the page, but it was everything you needed him to do, man.
Big points, though. Big points at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. 2 for 5 from 3. And, I just think with
one
JB,
of those 3-point buckets was when it was like a low percent. He was like guarded. And if he missed it, we would have stayed down 10, but it brought us down 7, like something around that range.
Yeah.
And it was like this is fucking going in type shot. Like he just pulled up and took it, and it went in, and it was like, okay, cool. This is the kind of play we need. Like that was one of those 2-3 pointers was a big bucket because its context matters, right?
Yeah, and I just feel like with JB, man, I brought up the comparison last time. I don't know if you heard it or not, but he reminds me so much of Jeff Green. Every single time I
remember you guys
basketball,
talking about it. It's just because it's like they're freak athletes, and there might be a point where you are relying on your athleticism because you spent your whole life relying on your athleticism, and it works because you're way more athletic than everybody else. But then you get to the NBA and you got to develop some shit. I think the difference is Jaylen Brown has the basketball IQ, the brain, the work ethic. Mm-hmm. To develop all that stuff outside of Jeff Green sort of being like, I can just be good.
Keep being athletic, right?
Yeah, I can just be good, whatever. Like, it's fine. And I think that was Jeff Green's problem. I think it was a mentality difference. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the fact that I think they came in as raw athletic specimens, to the same degree and same sort of body type and same sort of game based on that athleticism. I think it's a fair enough point. But now,
bro, it's not even yet. But so what is you can see that he's taken that to another level where he is still athletic like that. He still makes those plays. But like you just said, he does all those small things that Jeff Green never did, man. And it's so big to this team that you can have Jaylen Brown go 5 of 11, only score 18 points, but still make such a big impact on this basketball game, man.
He was huge on the eye test for sure.
Yeah, and exactly. You normally with athletic guys, when they're not scoring, when they're not making those freak plays, they disappear, they vanish. And JB hasn't been doing that since game 1, man. So I think it's such a testament to who he is as a basketball player, what he's developed into as our clear 2 guy too. I think that's something that's big is he's accepted that, like, listen, this is fucking Tatum's team, and he knows it, but he still can be there when you need him, and he's gonna deliver, man. And it's just, he's so special with that mentality, man. When you have a guy who is a superstar in the NBA, have a shitty game, and he is out before the next game shooting jump shots and threes and practicing 4 hours before the game. He's the first person at the goddamn stadium. Yeah. It's a special mindset to have, man. I think Emmy has a lot to do with this Jaylen.
I think he might have been better for Jaylen than he even was for Jayson, to be honest with you.
100%. Listen, coming into the offseason, you knew that Jaylen wanted a black coach to come coach his team, and he made literally he was like, I would prefer sound bites about it.
Well, I mean, I get it, to be quite honest with you. I just think, and we've talked about this before, I just think when you have a guy like Udoka who's been there, who's done it, who, especially now, and in the current climate, especially, like everything that was happening during the bubble in a predominantly African-American league, I don't think it's an entirely unfair thing to say, like, I just want a dude that I can fucking relate to. That if you're Jaylen Brown, you look at Brad Stevens, and Brad Stevens is like, come on, Jaylen, fucking do it. You're like, well,
fuck you, Brad. Yeah.
And it's like, and then that's the guy sort of leading the team when they're all sort of going through this George Floyd thing and the tensions in America at the time, and the media looking to them to speak out on it, but also then castigating them on the other side by being like, just fucking play basketball. And these are all things that are going to affect your game. You say that they're not going to, but they're going to. Like, where you're at mentally is obviously going to affect your game. I mean, ask fucking Stephon Marbury if that's true or not. And I think that, like, to have this sort of empathy and understanding and maturity to say, okay, well then, you want to get coached hard, but you want to get coached hard by someone that you maybe respect and can relate to a little bit more. Here's Ime Udoka. How's that work for you? And I think you're still rolling the dice because, he's unproven as a head coach. But at that point, you're at least looking at Jaylen and Jayson and saying, and I think we were saying this in the regular season, you're looking at them and going, if you guys still have a problem, it's a fucking you problem now, because we gave you exactly what you asked for. So, if that's what you wanted, you got it. Can you figure it out? And I think they are. I think they're stepping up. I think they realize there's no more excuses. There's nothing kind of left to fall back on. They got what they asked for, and it's working out. It's working out. I'm proud of them. I think they're digging deep, and I think he is coaching them better as individual players than Brad was.
Couldn't agree more. I think when it comes to the way Emmy is pushing this team, man, I think so. Remember at the beginning of the season, we were so worried and questioning the way he was doing things because it felt like the same shit all over again.
Sure.
No one
they looked like
called
the same
out.
Fucking team right away.
It was the same. It was the same exact thing. And Emmy wasn't really saying much. We were like, what's going on, man? Why isn't he jumping down their throat like we thought he would? Why? I feel like he was just building up a lot of trust. And he was getting them to.
You can't come in and start kicking ass right away. Everyone's just going to be like, what the fuck? You just got here.
But now, when Emmy says shit, it's to better this team. It's because that's what it takes to win. And I feel like Jaylen bought into that so hard, man. And he's the one to me that you see the biggest turnaround from the attitude he was playing with, from just everything. Because Jaylen, like we all know, he's the emotional guy on the team. He's the one that's going to speak up. He's the one that's going to yell at guys. And it just felt like before I don't want to say he was like the problem with the chemistry, but I feel like he had a big portion of it is Jaylen and
he was like getting into it with Marcus and the
right, bro.
Yeah, it was getting leaked. It was like, ugh, this isn't great, and then it was whose team is it, and like all this sort of different shit. I think Mike made a good point on last week's show talking about, and this will be a good transition, I think, into talking about JT. I think he sort of accepted that the kind of stuff that he was the best at doing on his other team, specifically playing at Cal, where it's not Duke, right? I mean, it's a good basketball program, but it's not Duke. He was the best player on that team, which means he's going to, in basketball terms, he's going to be the best shooter. He's going to be the best dribbler. He's going to be, and in the NBA, it's just a little bit of a different thing. There's different levels to it. And I think him seeing where he can fit around Jayson Tatum was a necessary thing for him to do, a very mature thing for him to do, and arguably makes him the most important piece of this current team because he had to do that thing. He had to pippify himself, and start to get good at.
Pipify was better.
Pipify is better. He had to pipify himself in order to and check his ego a little bit. I mean, and I don't mean that in a sense of like, oh, you got your fucking ego, you get paid millions of dollars. I mean, that bullshit. Every human being has an ego. Every human being goes into their life and their experiences, especially in the workplace, with a certain level of ego. Am I doing good enough? Does this person respect me enough? These are thoughts that every human has to deal with on and any workplace. And the stakes are arguably higher in a multi-billion-dollar industry like sports and athletics. And when you're on TV all the time, so those pressures, they mount. So I think it's a very difficult thing that he did by sort of turning around and saying, I'm not going to be. It's not that he's a role player, but he's a role player. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not a role player in basketball terms, but he plays a very important role when he needs to. And especially, he's gotten especially good at recognizing when it's JB time, you know, when it's okay. And it's not, to me, it doesn't read like, get the fuck out of the way, dude. It's time for me to do it because you can't do it, which used to sort of feel like. To me, it's like, hey, man, don't worry. I got your back. You're struggling. We can still have you shoot because I'm just going to up my efficiency. I'm going to start to drive. I'm going to start to work hard. I do still think he penetrates to the basket a little bit better than Tatum does. I don't necessarily think he's just like silky, but I think he's more direct. I think he's stronger, and I think we need that from time to time. I wish his free throw shooting would improve because that's going to bite us in the ass late in the fourth quarter one day. But I think he knows who he is a little bit more now. He's more secure in who he is now, and I think that that's enabling him to maybe not be the best player on the team, but be the leader. You know, because a leader doesn't put himself first. A leader puts the team first. And I think that's what he's doing.
But he knows that some nights he needs to be the best player on the court. And I think that's right. And he can do that. And that's so key, man, to be able to take a back seat, right? And be the 1B guy on the team. But on nights that you need him to be 1A, for him to be like, all right, whatever, word, I got this shit. I got you guys. Get on my back. I'm winning this game. It's so huge, man. Yeah. It's so huge.
And I'll tell you something. I'll die on this hill forever. The only type of person, the only category of person that could have come into this team, and I just know this in my heart, there's no way to collect any data on it, but the only type of person that could have come into this team and convinced Jaylen Brown to be the way we're saying he is somebody that was in, around, and actively participating in the San Antonio Spurs organization under Greg Popovich, because that's the only guy I could have thought of before Ime came in and did this that could have come in and done that. You know,
agreed.
And I think to circle back to the original point about Ime coming in, he can point to there's no way he's not standing in those tape rooms going, when Manu Ginobili, et cetera, when Tony Parker, et cetera, when Tim Duncan, like Timmy would do this. He's pointing to that stuff. And you know something? Not a terrible fucking whiteboard to be pointing up to and describing when it comes to, yeah, okay, maybe Manu could have been like the best player ever on the Charlotte Hornets. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
You just took that team right out of my head. I was like, the Hornets?
Like maybe he could have been. Maybe he could have been the greatest Charlotte Hornet to ever fucking wear the jersey. He'd have 0 fucking rings right now. You know, he'd have 0 rings. So you can look at that team and you can ask them, like, you can give Jaylen Brown a straight up would you rather? You can give him a straight up hypothetical. Would you rather be the guy with no rings, potentially no rings, that's playing for New Orleans, but you're the best ever Pelican? Like, that's it. Like, you're the Pelican of the century. Or would you rather have been the second best guy on a Celtics team that won 3? You know who else was the second best guy on a Celtics team? Ray Allen was the second best guy on a Celtics team. Or Paul Pierce, arguably. It depends. Depends on who you're asking. You know who else was the second best guy on a fucking Celtics team? Fucking, what's his name?
Robert Parrish.
Sure, Robert Parrish. Fucking, why Kevin McHale was the Celtics best.
Right, okay,
the second best guy on a Celtics team. You know, these are names you remember. These are names you know. You know, it doesn't have to, you don't have to be LeBron. And honestly, I don't know if you want to be in today's NBA. I just think you want to go get yourself some fucking jewelry, bro. Like, that's what should matter. So moving right along to who is our best player, I think very unarguably, I should say, talent-wise, our best player in Jayson Tatum. I love a guy who can have 3 shitty quarters and then go off in the 4th. I love that. Just like, don't worry about it.
And not only 3 shitty quarters, 7 consecutive garbage quarters. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
sure, yeah.
It was getting to the point where we were like, what the fuck is wrong with Tatum, man? Like, what's going on? What is he doing? And for him to come out and hit those shots that he was hitting, man, that 1-3 that we already talked about was such a big boy three, man. And it's we've seen him hit those type of threes before, but we used to get like mad at him for taking them because it was in the worst times.
Well, you know what else though? You know what else? It's what's a little different specifically about what you're talking about. He's not dribbling it for 8 seconds before
and then doing it,
and then doing that sidestep, but then the guy's kind of still on him, and then he shoots, and like it would go in, but you'd be like, "Still a dumb fucking shot." It was like, "Oh, I need to take one step and just pull up without hesitation." You know, it was those type of threes, and I think that's just that shows maturity and growth.
It's, you know, like remember when we were shitting on him for the Kobe,
which time?
The Kobe lessons because we saw Kobe's negative hit. Come out and hit it out of those lessons. That's all we saw. We were like, bro, what are you doing? This is the worst parts of Kobe that we hated, that we loved, that Laker fans hated. But now, man, he has such a killer mentality that, like, in that fourth quarter, once that fourth quarter started, you knew he was about to take over. You could see it in his eyes, man. He hit that first three, because what was he? He was like 1 of 6, 1 of 7 going into that fourth quarter from three.
Yeah.
And he just lit fire, man. And that's when you know someone is special. We already talked about Giannis. He was special because he's making an impact on the game other than scoring. That's what Tatum was doing up to that point, but then he started scoring. And he's just so good. I can't remember another basketball player that I've like had googly eyes for this long than Jayson Tatum, man. I just love the way he plays the game. And I love his quiet confidence that he has about him. He was talking in the post-game interview, and he was saying, you know, like, it's not always about scoring. You need to come out as a star on your team and make an impact on the game. You need to leave your mark on every single playoff game if you're going to be a superstar in this league. And to hear him come out and say that, and not come out and saying, you know, I needed to get my shots up, I needed to do this, this dude just wants to make impacts on the basketball game and make sure his team wins. And he knows how important he is to this team, man. And you see it in that fourth quarter because he just took that game over, bro.
He did. He finished him off. He finished him off. He came in and he swung the final axe. I'll also say that the pendulum has swung when he does shoot, even if he's having a bad shooting night. If it's a good look, I still want him to take it. There's no red light on Jayson Tatum anymore, you know? Like there's certain players where I'm like, you know, I'll just be like, you need to stop fucking shooting. Like it happens with Marcus Smart sometimes. It definitely happens with Daniel Tice after like one shot. Sometimes it happens with Jaylen Brown because he can just be really off, and I haven't seen him correct that with volume before. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, someone can correct me, but I haven't seen it happen. What we've now seen a couple of times and very officially in that game 4 against the Bucks, and it's something we should always remember. He shot himself out of a fucking bunker. You know what I mean? Like he was in the bunker. The Germans were throwing fucking grenades in there, and he had to get the fuck out of there. And he wasn't fucking surrendering because he knew they were going to shoot him anyway. So he shot his way out. He shot his way out of the bunker, and I don't hate it, you know, because the shots fell. So like you can't really argue with results. All right, we got a couple of minutes left here, and I think it's only fitting to finish with my MVP, my star of the game. Hopefully yours too, because it was just like the greatest thing ever. We talked about, you know, sort of a little bit about him from the Giannis perspective, but Al Horford with that
God, bro.
YMCA, old man, not so sure if he's got any game, but then we start to play, and every time you try to guard him, it hurts. And every time he guards you, it hurts. And his shots drop when his shot's ugly, but their shots are dropping. He had 30 points against Giannis, who was guarding him. He was guarding Giannis. Who was in there one-on-one. We talked about the mentality of it. I fucking love Al Horford. I love him with all my heart. I want him to move into my house, and I'll cook him dinner every night. He can have a percentage of my retirement plan. Like I would give anything, the shirt off my back, to Al Horford at this point after that win. How did that feel? Let's start with me talking about his 3-point shooting and how fucking efficient he is from out there, and then let me know what you thought of his game overall.
Yeah, man. So I just want to bring everyone back in time to this offseason when we traded fucking a shell of Kemba Walker straight up for Al Horford. And Al Horford is now the most important player on this team. So I want to shout out and give Brad credit for that because, listen, we fleeced. Who did we trade him to? I think it was the Thunder, right? Bro, Al Horford is the most important player on this team right now. And everyone knows it. Everyone on that Celtics team knows that if Al is there, we're going to show up and have the fire and have the fight, man. In that second half, so I have it up here. He played 23 minutes. He was 7 of 10 from the field and 3 of 5 from 3 for a plus 14. That is.
I don't remember the ones he missed. I just remember the ones that went in.
Unbelievable, man. The biggest thing with Al is that he didn't. I really feel like it was the turning point when Giannis dunked on him, and Al doesn't not give up. He doesn't back down whatsoever. Giannis is staring right at him, bro.
You don't do that to an old head like Al, though. Like he's a fucking veteran. And he's always been a dog. So like, what do you do? The best vet
Marcus has ever had is what he said. Best vet I've ever had. For his exact words. Yeah. And it was like magical. You know what I mean? Like that game will be known forever as the Al Horford game. That's what that game is. And he's just so big for this team, man. Like it's crazy that it's gone from a guy who could barely stay on the court with the Sixers to a guy who was about to get bought out by the Thunder. Remember, he sat out the end of last season, the last like 30 games, washed up. You know, he's done. It's this, it's that, you know, working.
He's 35 and he's a big man.
Right.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. You're a 35-year-old big man. Most 35-year-old big men have been turned into fucking ashtrays and glue at the fucking scrapyard by this point, you know?
But not even fucking close.
Not even. Like a different game.
Bro,
it's just like so crazy.
I remember Al's first stint with us, right? He would spot up from 3, and every time, if he wasn't wide open, you were like, oh, God damn it. What are you doing, bro? Stop. Please stop shooting contested threes. This past game, man, I wanted the ball. You said it. You said it in the Discord. Green light Al. Al has the green light. Anytime he wants to shoot, he could fucking shoot in that game. The 2 biggest plays of that fourth quarter were Al Horford obviously yamming on Giannis and getting the and one, right? Giving him that side bow. The
Grey Poupon.
Yeah, the little Grey Poupon on the side. The corner 3 to take that first lead in the fourth quarter, man. And it all was coming around Al. That
one and one. Remember that one and one? Where like he got swatted on the falling back and he falling back.
Yeah, on Lopez, right?
Yeah.
I can't say enough about Al in that game, man. He made the defense go by shutting down, quote unquote, shutting down Giannis. But
like you said, in a sort of intangible way,
right?
You know, in a sort of in the way maybe mentally, but maybe not on the box score, but like whatever, we won the fucking game. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Big Al. We talked a lot about him in the Giannis stuff. He's fucking unbelievable. Obviously, we love having him, and also credit to him because he looked goosed when Grant Williams picked up his 4th foul. He looked fucking goosed, and then Ime had to be like, "You gotta go back out there," and he was like, "Cool," and he just went out and he had a great game. He
was crying in the locker room after. That's how much
he put it all on the table, man. He put it all on the table. It was a must-win game. It was a must-win game.
Al Horford, perennial quote-unquote winner, a guy who does everything right. He played maximum effort every single night. That's literally why the Thunder sat him last year, because they're like, bro, you're too fucking good. Stop putting in so much effort. We need to lose these games. And he doesn't have an NBA championship. You know what it is? So he wants this so bad. And he knows he wants it so bad. And I feel like that's why, like, once he got going and he saw that fire in Al's eye, I think he was like, Al, this is your fucking game, man. This is your game. It's time for you to go and take this over.
Conventional wisdom and the Van Gundys would have you believe that Grant Williams should have gone out there even in foul trouble and stayed on Giannis. But nah, you got to let Al play. You got to let him play.
Can I say something about Van Gundy real quick? I've never agreed with what he's saying more than what he's saying in this series specifically.
He hasn't been so bad, but still from time to time, I'm like...
I just love that he's trying to... Because I got to spend a couple minutes ranting about Giannis, too, because I love that he's all about getting that charge on fucking Giannis, because that is the most bullshit. Listen, it's such bullshit that this dude can come into our fucking paint. We have ourselves set every fucking time. and he just bowls us over.
All the
And
charge
refs don't
calls,
call
all
shit,
the
man.
charge calls have gone their way too. Even the review that they like
what
didn't
I-
overturn it. It's like I witnessed that exact same thing happen. It's like if our feet are moving at all, even if we've gotten it, give them time to get into the position, you got to like not be in their landing zone, whatever. It's just not consistent. Like the refs, like I hate talking about the refs. I don't want to blame them. I want to win despite them, but they have just not been consistent, man. And it is a charge. And honestly, I wouldn't even be so mad if they just called it for our superstar back in the other direction. But the shit that Tatum does, because Tatum pushes off, like I know he pushes off. It's undeniable that he pushes off. But don't call that if you're going to not call Giannis's charges or call both of them. That's all I asked. I just asked for consistency.
Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed, man. And that's not what we're getting. But what's blowing my mind, right? And I feel like this Al thing turned my mindset on it because I like Giannis coming into this series, man. I can't stand him right now. The way that he is getting the calls, he's getting babied by the refs. But then when he does get a clear foul call, he's turning around and bitching about it. Like, bro,
Who are you
to bitch about any of this
Did
shit,
you hear
bro?
him after game 3? Oh, how much does it cost to get fined? If I shouldn't say anything about the refs. I'm like, you
I need
should
to buy diapers, bro.
They were in your fucking pocket the entire
Unbelievable. And the Marcus thing where they're tangled up and Marcus goes to help him up and he doesn't get, bro.
I like Marcus just fucking shaking him off.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, bro. Well, fine.
Yeah.
He seems like such a little bitch to me lately. And
The playoffs will make you hate anyone, Bobby.
it will.
I never loved him that much, to be honest with you. I think you know where I stand on non-Celtics. It's got nothing to do with how fucking bubbly your personality is or how good you are in that Sprite commercial. I like ballers. It's why we sometimes butt heads with the other guys on the show about my feelings about the Kyrie Irvings and the Kevin Durant's of the world. Yeah, they're annoying on Twitter or like they say stupid shit in press conferences, but I like watching the game of basketball. I'm not really, to me, this isn't football. This isn't really about the off season and all the shit that's going on. And did they tape the practices? I just like watching the games. And when I watch the games, Kevin Durant's a fucking beast. I love his game. When I watch the games, Kyrie Irving's a fucking beast. I love his game. LeBron James, I never liked his game that much. Like I could objectively say it's fantastic. I could objectively say he's the best player in the world for a long, long time. But I don't know. It just wasn't like, it's just not my thing. It's just not what I enjoy watching. And I get that he like was shitting on my team with that game for a long period of it, but it just wasn't the kind of game that I like enjoyed. And I like when he developed a post game after Dirk embarrassed him in the finals. Like I liked that. Like I respected that. Giannis, to me, it's like, he's a hard worker, right? You can't take that away from him. He tries for the entire game. He works hard. He has freakish technical ability for his size and his athleticism. I think that he has levels to go. I think that there's 2 or 3 more things he can add to his game, like the jump shots he inexplicably fucking takes that never go in. And there's 2 or 3 more things that he can add to his game that would make him clearly the best player in basketball. And
he might already be.
He might. I mean, it's a little bit more arguable now, thankfully, for the discourse purposes, now that LeBron has kind of like lost a step finally. And, there's a lot of good players in there and it's positional and stuff like that. But I think there's more to come from him. So like him or not, I hate him in the context of this series. I still think he can go so much higher than he's already at. He's already at such a high place. And I like watching that. So I'm never going to hate him for that reason.
It's funny.
I hate the Bucks though. I hate the way they fucking constituted that team. The way they built the team. I'm like, I like Drew Holiday. I basically hate everybody else on that team. I hate how Chris Middleton plays. Like, I hate that. Like, I hate Brooke Lopez. I've always fucking hated Brooke Lopez. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Go ahead.
No, it's funny that you compare him to LeBron because I don't
not
know
necessarily comparing him to LeBron.
Well, no. I mean, his game though is it's
being freakishly more athletic.
It's very right. It's very reminiscent of LeBron,
and then
without the killer jumper, right? Without that killer jumper,
yeah,
that's what it is. And it's just, listen, I don't know. But coming into the season, it just seemed like everything this dude said, everything he did, the way he represented himself, the way he played basketball,
he was a champ.
Like it was all about the right way of playing and putting maximum effort, not being a little bitch. And I just feel like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because he won a championship and got a little big, or maybe it's just because we're in a heated fucking playoff series with him. But it's kind of just seems like he's turned into a little bitch to me.
I think it is that we're in a heated playoffs series with him, to be honest with you. I think that series it looks like you're going into a foxhole. It doesn't look fun. It doesn't look fun to be in that series right now. Everybody's playing their asses off.
A little shout out to our Championship DNA podcast. This series reminds me a lot of 2007, 2008 basketball, man. It seems like the first
so many
more
mid-range jump shots. It's crazy.
It is great, but it just feels like 2010 all over again. First to 110 wins. And you don't see that in today's NBA. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, you made that point in the Discord, and I think, I was thinking about that as I was watching it. And I might be why I'm enjoying it so much, to be quite honest with you. But, and yeah, it's not, nobody's living or dying by the three-point shots are a factor for sure in this game, but it's not like, oh, the Celtics have missed their first 6 3-pointers. Well, they're only down 4. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that situation, as opposed to if we do, I'm not saying we will, knock on wood, but if we do get to the finals and we play a Western Conference team, I think whatever that Western Conference team is, we're going to have a new problem to figure out as far as perimeter shooting goes. Just between.
Probably.
It's probably going to. I mean, I know the Suns won a fuck ton of games, but the Warriors kind of look like the Warriors again. Anyway, whatever.
So, that's going to be a killer series. I can't wait to talk about that.
I'd take the Grizzlies. I'd take the Warriors. I would probably take the fucking Suns. I feel like the East is actually harder than people are giving it credit for. We're going to have to walk through a fucking gauntlet if we want to get to the finals. I'd much rather see the Sixers in the next series than the Heat just on matchups, but that's a problem for another day. We gotta get through this slog of a series. So yeah, I mean, that'll do it. Looking forward to game 5. Yeah. What?
Predictions.
Dude, this is an emotionally taxing series. I don't even know if I can have a prediction here. I think it has to go to 7. It's just this is a series that has go to 7 games written all over it. And I think you made a very good point in the Discord. We took home court back, so I'm not terribly stressed about it going to 7. But they've proven they can win in Boston. And Mike makes the point about the referees being terrible in this series. I hate the fact that they were clearly responding to the media comments, the referees. The mandate should be whatever they say, just fucking don't referee context. Referee the game. Don't referee what they're saying. Don't react to what they're saying in the media. Don't look at it. Don't listen to it. Just referee the game by the rules of the game, please. That's all I'm asking for. You don't need to be like, oh, well, I heard what you guys said in the media. We're going to get an extra couple of... And the basketball's the worst for that. But predictions is definitely going to 7, and if it goes to 7, we'll have home court. So I'm saying season 7.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that, season 7. But listen, I can tell you one thing: if C's come out and win Game 5, the extender himself, Mr. Scott Foster, will be the referee for Game 6. I don't know if have they already, but 100% Scott 100%. Foster's reffing Game 6. Bro, I just don't see the Celtics losing at home in a Game 7 situation. Like we've seen when the Celtics play their game. I said it coming into this game, and I was very close to being right. They win. They win by a considerable amount, and they won by 8 last night. So I know it was a tough road to get there, but they did end up winning by 8. So I just feel like in a Game 7 situation where it's do or die, win or go home, there's no way that this team with the dog in them, the fight in them, that they lose that game. I would love it. I would love it if Mike's right and they close this out in 6.
You can't possibly convince me we're winning this in 6.
Me either.
Happening. I would love it, but you can't convince me of it. What I will say, though, is Game 4, if Game 4 is a microcosm for the entire series and it's a who blinks first situation, who wants it more, who blinks first in this series, I think we've proven that we have a little bit of deeper to dig, if that makes sense. We can dig a little bit deeper than these guys. And we might, if Game 4 is any indication, because it was in Milwaukee, and they're a pretty good crowd over there. And we had to dig deep, and we did. And I think if that's any indication, I think, I'd be very confident going to Boston with these fuckers. But
bro, you ever been to a Game 7 in Boston? Yeah. That shit is electric.
Oh yeah,
it's the best. It's the best sporting event environment I've ever been
it's
in my
entire
entire
life.
I'd
want to be in a win or go home situation. It's also why I wouldn't be thrilled about the Suns.
It's crazy
the
out
Suns
there too,
or the Heat. there's just the home court thing. just on records.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that like all the better records maybe still get knocked out. So we'll see.
Yeah. Listen, the Bucks gave us home court too. That's what I fucking.
They had it.
Is they handed it to us.
They had it.
No, we don't want it, guys. We don't want it. And the Celtics,
I'm glad in retrospect. I mean, I would have taken it either way, but I'm glad in retrospect we won Game 4, not Game 3, because then we have the momentum going back into Boston. Because then there's a world where we take them back to Boston, and we smack them. Like we beat them bad, like Game 2, maybe. And like, then all of a sudden the series looks different. Then all of a sudden I'm maybe we go back to Milwaukee game 6 and close this bitch out. You know what I mean? Like, we fucked them up in the next game. Like, I think it could be possible. But yeah, I think that'll do it for Missing the Point. Myself, DK Sizzle, the real BK Bob Kelly. I thought that was a great show. I thought we talked about all of our big performers. And I hope that we're as happy and optimistic as we were in this show the next time we talk. So until then, keep it green, everybody.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these? Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.